Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Retrostatic Radio proudly brings you Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant, assigned to the auto theft detail. You receive a report that a circus truck has been broken into. Several of the animals are missing. Some of them are dangerous. Your job? Find them.
It was Monday the 12th. It was a bit cold. We were working the day watch out of the auto theft detail. Partner's Frankie Smith. Boss on this beat is Chief of Detectives, Thad Brown. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from Superior Court, and it was 11:46 a.m. when I got to room 40, auto theft.
Hey Joe, how'd it go?
His lawyer got a continuance.
How come?
I don't know. New evidence they want to introduce, I suppose.
What does the DA's office say?
Nothing they can say, really. Comes under the heading of due process.
Think you'll still nail him?
Alex claims so. Guy admitted his guilt. Now he's claiming the confession was a load of junk. That we got it out of him by force.
Where now then?
Gotta prove he did it without the confession. Shouldn't be too hard. Got all the evidence. If we get the chance to lay it out for a jury anyhow.
Uh-huh. When do you go back?
He set it off to next week. So, anything come in while I was gone?
Nah, nothing too big. Only a couple of things patrol could handle.
Auto theft, Friday. Yes, ma'am. That's right. Have you made a written report yet? Uh-huh. No, ma'am, you'll have to do that first. Yeah. No, ma'am. I can't take it on the phone, ma'am. You'll have to have a written report. That's right. What's your address? Uh-huh. Well, we can send a car out to your house, or you can go down to the police station and the officers can take care of you there. No. Lillian Way. A block off of Black River Boulevard. Yeah, towards Lakeview. That's right. It's no problem, ma'am. All right, then. Goodbye and have a good day.
Stolen one?
Yeah. They can't understand why we can't start looking for the car right away. Never figure that if we stop somebody and they've got a right to the car, we've got our necks out a mile.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir? Something we can do for you?
Gotta fill out a report, huh?
Yes, sir. Sit down right here.
Hell, sure get service around here.
What kind of car is it, sir?
Ain't no car.
Excuse me?
No car got stolen. Stuff in the car.
All right, then. What was it?
Wasn't really a car anyhow. It was a truck, you see. That's what they stole from. A truck.
If you'll give us a description.
Far as I know, they may not have even stole it anyhow. Might just opened it up and let 'em all out.
The sooner we get this report filled out, sir, the faster we can start looking for the stolen merchandise.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Now then, what is your name, please?
Havill. No R. Lots of people put an R in there. Like Haverl? Ain't. It's Havel.
What's your address?
9264 David Avenue. Little house outside town.
And where'd the theft take place?
Corner of Fountain and Lafayette. Right on the corner there.
And what was taken?
You see, I got this call from one of the drivers who work for my brother and me. Drives one of our trucks. He called and said the machine had broke down.
We can get to that later, Mr. Havel. Where were the stolen articles?
Animals.
Beg your pardon?
Yeah, animals for our carnival.
What kind of animals?
Oh, couple of monkeys, a coati raccoon or two.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, yeah. Here comes the best part. And, this is the one I'm afraid of.
What's that?
It's the reason I waited so long to report it, you see. I was hoping he'd turn up beforehand.
What is it, sir?
The black panther.
So we got a description of the animal, and the local broadcast was gotten out immediately, 12:18 p.m. We continued talking to Clarence Havel.
Friday night, that's when it happened.
What time was that?
About 7:05, maybe 7:10. Right after is when the phone rang.
Uh-huh.
I was kind of sore about being interrupted with the fights being on and all. Always watch 'em. Most of my friends know not to call around that time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the phone rang. I got up and went over to answer it. It was Bert.
The driver, I assume?
Yeah, Bert Newell. Said he had a breakdown at Fountain in Lafayette. Asked me if I had an extra tractor. Happens I did.
Okay.
So Bert asked me to bring it over. Said he wanted to use it to get the show up to Rochester or Buffalo ways.
So, that's when you went over?
Well, not right away.
Sir?
Well, it looked like the fight wasn't going to last too much longer, and, well, I wanted to see the finish of it. So I stuck around for another couple rounds. But, directly after that, I left.
I see.
Drove over and found Bert. Right on the corner, just standing there. Not trying to do nothing about the breakdown, nothing. Just standing there, smoking a cigarette.
Yes, sir.
Well, you just bet I read him the riot act right then and there. Told him that the least you could do was get out a wrench or something and try to find the trouble. Read him off real good, I did.
Of course.
It didn't do no good, though. Shiftless, you know? Real shiftless.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Bert, do you?
Not at all, sir.
Shiftless. You know him? You know that.
If you could go on, please.
Oh, yes. Well, we got the trailer unhitched and the tractor hooked up. Only took a couple of minutes. Got it done and Bert took off.
Where is he going?
Over Rochester way. Gonna play a show there, right outside the Overton, I think. Yeah, gonna play a show over in Overton.
Uh-huh.
Right over by the lake up that way.
Yes, sir. When'd you find out the animals were missing?
Oh, when I got the wire from my brother. That's when I got the first inkling.
And when was that?
Last night. Company phoned me about it. I guess it was about 8:30.
Do you have the telegram?
No, I told you they phoned it to me.
What'd it say?
It just that the animals were gone. From my brother. Said that the animals weren't on the truck when it got to Overton.
Okay.
Got told about how the locks on a couple of the cages was broken. Smashed, it looked like. And the animals were gone.
Is it possible that the cages might have been broken into someplace other than here?
Might be, yeah. Might be. Ain't likely, though.
Why do you say that?
Only reason or not, 'cause it ain't likely. Not only that, I got proof.
What do you mean?
Soon as I got the wire, I went down over to Fountain in Lafayette. Right down there, and I took a look around.
Okay.
Figured I might be able to find out something. Took a big 4-cell flashlight and went down over to the corner.
Yes, sir.
And I was right. That's where it happened. It's where they got away. Found the spores, you know?
By that you mean...
Tracks, course. Found 'em all over the place.
Of the panther?
No. Just raccoons. Not only that, but found something else.
Oh, yeah?
Monkeys. Found both of 'em loitering.
Oh, where were they?
Hanging on the top of that fountain over by the bank, just sitting there shivering. They're kinda little, you know? Got cold real quick. We usually have 'em around the place in little sweaters. Gets chilly real easy up here.
How about the rest of the animals? You see any sign of them?
No, I went over to the little store near there and got a head of lettuce. Took it back over to the fountain, but they were over by the phone pole now. But as soon as I showed it to Caesar and Solomon, they came right back down. They love lettuce.
And they're the monkeys?
Yep, marmosets, white-eared, love lettuce.
They came down then?
Oh, right down, slithered right for the lettuce. And they were scared stiff. Being on fountain top all night, then all of a sudden on that phone pole, should have had their sweaters on.
So, what about the other animals?
There's no sign of them. Just the spores of the raccoons. Ain't got the slightest idea where they might have gone. No real problem, though. Not them.
How do you mean?
Oh, easy to replace. Just go up into the boonies. Lots of raccoons up there. Run all over the place unsettling garbage cans. Scared neighbors. Managed some of the people be kind to have me come up there and take 'em away for 'em. Raccoons ain't no problem.
What about the panther?
He is a problem.
You don't say.
Obviously. Can you give me a description of the animal?
He's, black.
I figured.
Like the inside of a well. Jet black. Even blacker than the ink you're riding with.
Uh-huh.
About 7 feet long. Easy, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is counting the tail. Nose to tail, 7 feet.
Anything else about him we should know?
No, just a plain black panther. Nothing too special.
Is he dangerous?
Oh, not unless he meets somebody. Dante's got a temper, you see.
That's the name of the animal. Dante.
Yep, named him that 'cause he was blacker than the pitch of the inferno.
You're pretty sure he got out of the trailer when the monkeys did?
Nah, I ain't gonna give you a written guarantee, but I'm sure of it.
All right, sir. We'll start looking for him right away.
I sure hope you can find him. Big attraction for the show. Draws people right in.
Uh-huh. About those broken locks on the cages, do you have any idea who might have done it?
Mightn't been anybody. Kids, curious spectators, anybody.
You have any enemies that might do a thing like this?
Oh, sure. Carnival business is rough. The Havel Amalgamated Combined shows is coming up fast. Lots of people don't want us to set up in their territory, you know.
Where were these animals coming from?
Winter quarters. The stand at Overton was going to be our first this season. Just starting up this season right.
Is there anything else you can tell us that'll make it easier to find the panther?
No, not a thing. Just be careful, that's all. Don't hurt him. He's really as gentle as a kitty when you get to know him. Like a big overgrown house cat. Gentler even.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's something Daryl just didn't understand.
Who?
My brother, Daryl. He didn't like Dante. Didn't understand him. That's what caused the trouble.
What trouble?
Well, last winter, Clyde came out to see the show. Tell me about the bookings and whatnot.
All right.
Well, we were discussing about how the best way to exhibit Dante would be. Got too close to the cage. And Dante, he was only trying to play with him, but Dante did almost kill him.
All officers in the area where the panther had escaped were notified, and additional men were called from the Metropolitan Reserve to patrol the vicinity. The presence of the animal on city streets presented a very real menace to all citizens in the city. A team of detectives from auto theft were dispatched to the corner of Fountain and Lafayette to talk to the people who lived in the area. However, they were able to come up with no new information on the escaped panther. Frank and I talked to Chief of Detectives, Thaddeus Brown, and with Captain Nelson, it was decided to start a block-by-block search for the missing cat. Authorities from the Griffith Park Zoo were consulted as to the possible hiding places of the animal. When the afternoon newspapers hit the streets, calls began to flood the complaint board asking for additional information on the panther. Local radio and television broadcasts carried stories about the escape, and the numbers of the calls went up. Additional men had to be called to care for the switchboards. The search went on. Frank and I worked in the field along with other men from auto theft and officers from the Metro Division. Every possible hiding place in the vicinity of Fountain and Lafayette was searched without turning up any new information on the cat. It was the opinion of the authorities that the panther might try to hide in the brush closer towards the edge of the city, so the search moved to that vicinity. Tuesday the 12th, Frank and I got back to the office from the area. We'd been up all night looking for the animal.
You want to check in with the captain?
Yeah, better call Chief Brown too. I'll get it. Auto theft. Friday speaking. Yes, ma'am. That's right. No, ma'am, we haven't found it yet. No, ma'am, we don't. Yes. I can understand how you feel, but we're doing everything we can. Yes, that's right. Yes, ma'am. All right. No, that's perfectly all right. Yes. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Want to know if we've caught it yet, huh?
Yeah.
I'll go check with Captain Nelson.
Auto theft. Friday speaking. Yeah, that's right. No, we haven't. Uh-huh. No, ma'am. I can't tell you that. Okay, what's the address? Uh-huh. No, you'll have to decide that yourself. Yes, that's right. I wish I could be of more help, but I can't advise you on that. Hello? Hello? Anybody around who can bring me some coffee? It's a day and a half.
Yeah, I'll give Sal a call. I'll bring it up.
And a sandwich.
Any kind?
Tuna. May get me into this cat's mind.
Sure thing. Be right back.
Excuse me. I'd like to talk to the men who are working on the panther thing.
Would you now?
I was told at the end of the hall I'd find them here.
I'm Sergeant Friday. Maybe I can help you.
You working with the search party?
Yes, sir. My partner and I have been...
They caught it yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Y'all know where it is?
No, sir.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm Sidney Norton and I live in this city.
Good for you.
I got a family, I pay my taxes, and I just want to ask one question.
Go for it.
According to the papers, this Haverhill or whatever his name is, he's the one that owns the panther, that's right?
His name's Clarence Havel. Yeah.
But he owns the cat. Give me his address.
Excuse me?
I want the number of his house and what street it's on. It's that simple, isn't it?
We're not allowed to give out that information.
And why not?
We just can't, sir.
I got 2 kids, Sergeant, a 7-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl.
I'm sure you're proud of them.
They both go to school. At least they're supposed to be going to school. But my wife's been keeping them home today. You know why? 'Cause she's scared to death of that panther.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Norton.
Well, that's not going to do any good. I try to be a good citizen.
I'm sure you do.
Pay my taxes on time, don't burn any trash after 10 o'clock, use hand signals when I drive, try to obey all the laws, even sometimes when they ain't fair.
Good job, sir.
Now along comes this crackpot with a man-eating panther and lets it go right out here on the streets. All I want is his address so I can go over there and punch him right in the nose. Are you going to give me that?
No, sir.
Who's your superior?
Captain Nelson.
And where's he? I want to talk to him.
He's in Chief Brown's office right now.
And where's that?
End of the hall. Office number 26.
All right, sweet cheeks. I'll go and talk to him. I want this man's address, and I'll get it. Terrible thing for the law to allow a person to keep animals like that so they can get away and walk around killing anybody they meet. If you cops can't do anything about it, I will. You just bet I will.
You go out there and cause Mr. Havel any trouble, and you're liable for arrest.
Oh, and by who?
By any officer he calls.
You mean to protect him, but you don't give a hang about me and my family, is that it?
Sir, you've both got rights of protection under the law. If Havel's done anything, we'll take care of it.
When?
As soon as we find the panther.
And what am I supposed to do until then?
Go home.
Yeah, and just sit there? Just wait for that animal to show up?
Yes, sir.
Lousy way to run a city if you ask me.
If you've got any ideas on how to catch the cat, We'd like to hear them. There are a couple of hundred of police officers looking for it right now. They won't stop until it's found. You coming around here, acting like this, isn't helping one bit. Now, why don't you go home?
I don't see where that's gonna help.
You aren't doing much right now either.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. You won't tell me where he is, huh?
No, sir.
I'll find it. I got a lot of friends in this town. I will find out where he lives.
Don't cause any trouble, Mr. Norton.
Are you threatening me?
No, sir. I'm just telling you that if you cause any trouble for Mr. Havel, you'll be liable for prosecution.
And you would do it too, wouldn't you? Arrest me instead of him that turned that beast loose.
The law holds for both of you.
That's the way it looks to you, huh?
There's no other way.
Well, you may just be wrong. I've been talking around. There's lots of people who feel like I do. A lot. Enough maybe to decide to do things our way.
Don't try it, Norton.
It's too late, sweet cheeks. If you can't do anything about it, we will. Me and my friends. We'll take care of it. It's out of your hands, and we will take care of Havel. Take care of him good.
Don't.
And who's gonna stop us?
Any cop Havel calls. Frank came back and we both talked to Sidney Norton and finally convinced him that any action he might take would not help the situation. We sent him home and then we met with Captain Nelson and Chief Brown. The progress of the search was reviewed and it was decided to continue it in the Delta area and in the Upper Griffith Park Hills. All days off had been canceled and additional officers were joining in the hunt for the panther. After the meeting, Frank and I got some breakfast and then drove out to Clarence Havel's home. It was a large ranch house at the end of Victory Boulevard in the valley. We drove through the gate and parked the car. Clarence Havel was sitting on the large porch waiting for us. A small monkey was sitting on his shoulder.
Hey, Blue Bloods, come on up and have a seat. How's it going, Miss Friday, Mr. Smith?
All right.
Fine.
Get you anything? Glass of ginger beer, maybe? Got some cold in the icebox here.
No, thank you.
So, I heard from my brother this morning.
Yeah?
He got a call and the company phoned it over to me. We got some good news.
How good?
It's beginning to look like it's all a mistake.
What?
The whole thing. All it. Looks like the animal didn't get away here.
Why do you think that?
Oh, the call from my brother. Said they found the coatimundi and one of them raccoons over there in Ithaca. Found them right alongside the road, tired and hungry. Guess they're sorry they got out the truck now, huh?
Please, tell me there's word on the panther.
No, not yet, but Darrell sent some men out over to look for him. I'm sure Dante'll turn up, tail between his legs.
How can we get in touch with your brother, Mr. Havel?
Can't.
Excuse me?
Can't get in touch with him. Out in the Dead Zone Forest looking for Dante. Out of touch.
How about the driver? Can you give us his name and address?
Part of it, yeah.
What about his address?
I don't have it. Darrell fired him on the spot when he found out about the animals being gone. Drummed him out, so to speak.
You didn't tell us about that before.
Didn't know it before. Said him and Bert had a real hey-rube about it. Yeah, big man Bert. Weighs in at about 310 pounds. Used to do some work in the ring, you know. $25 to anybody who can defeat this man sort of gig. Bert used to do that kind of rib.
This Newell, has he ever been arrested?
You mean in jail?
Any arrest, really.
I think I'm beginning to believe what you two are driving at. You don't figure a shiftless Bert Newell had nothing to do with Dante being gone, huh?
Do you know if he's ever been arrested?
Oh, a couple of times, I suppose. Darrell told me about it. Bert get in a fight with some local fella wherever the carnival was playing. Darrell'd have to go down and bail him out. Nothing serious, though, you know. Just some little bar fights. Bert was really too lazy and a bit too dumb, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
You think he might have stole Dante?
We don't know.
Be worth a lot of money to our competitors, though. Lots of money.
Can you give us the address of your winter quarters here in town?
But you really think he'd do a thing like that?
What?
Shiftless Bert. I don't hardly believe it.
We'll check on it. Now, if you'll tell us where your winter quarters are.
Really wish I could show you my quarters, Miss Friday, but I can't.
Why not?
Don't know where they are.
You run a circus and you don't know where the animals are kept.
Not much of a circus. Carnival.
Yeah, whatever. What's the address?
I don't know.
You haven't any idea.
None at all.
And you can't tell us where to reach your brother.
He's out looking for Dante.
That brings up a couple of more things.
Yes?
We've checked the neighborhood around where you say the animals were taken. Nobody in the area saw them, and yet from what you tell us, they were there for over 24 hours.
A lot of things in your story that don't seem to check out.
How about it, Havel? Something you're not telling us? Havel?
Yeah. We haven't got no regular winter quarters. Not regular setup, nohow. That's why I can't tell you where it is.
Uh-huh.
Ain't none.
Yeah.
You see, the Havel Amalgamated Combined Shows is really a nomadic carnival.
What do you mean?
Well, we ain't got no big operation. A couple of mangy animals. We don't have a license to keep 'em in the city. Only quarters we got are vacant lots. We set up and stay there until the neighbors start complaining, and then we move on. Trucks for the show are registered in states where the fees are the smallest. We got about every deal we could to keep the cost of the operation down to nearly nothing.
What about the panther?
Dante?
Is there any other?
He's the only real attraction we got. Man-killing Black Panther. I told you about how he almost got Daryl. Gotta understand Dante or nothing works with him.
That right?
Sure. Like the time Dante was sick. Poor cat, just laid about. Wouldn't eat. Wouldn't do nothing but just lay about, meowing up a storm. And I took care of him. Did it in this very house, right here. Nursed him back to health myself. Dante and me, we get along. Buddies. We understand each other.
You had him in the house with you?
Well, sure. Or locked up in a closet anyhow. Most of the time I was right by his side taking care of him. Giving him his medicine and nursing him back to health. Excuse me a minute, will you? Might be something about Dante.
Could be our office. We gave him this number.
Yeah, well, just a minute. Let me go check. Hello? Yes, your number? Huh? Yeah, just give me a minute. Excuse me, Miss Friday. Your office is on the phone.
Thanks, Mr. Havel. This is Friday. Yes, Skipper. Uh-huh. That's right. Yeah. Want to give me the address? Uh-huh. Right. We'll get right over.
Good news?
Not sure yet.
What's the hubbub, Sergeant?
They found the panther.
We will return to the hunt for the big cat in just a moment. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments to give a shout out to another podcast we love and what we're calling our Not an Ad shout out. Today's shout out is to the very popular true crimes podcast, Small Town Dicks, co-hosted by voice actress Yardley Smith and twin detectives Dan and Dave, as they cover small town crimes and chat with those involved in the cases. Paperclip Limited pulls out all the stops on this with fantastic research, interesting discussion, amazing interviews, and really just a phenomenal listen all around. So to hear what can best be described as the real-life true crimes version of Dragnet, head to smalltowndicks.com to hop into some of these small-town crimes and listen from the people involved in them, or search for Small Town Dicks on your preferred audio listening platform, and enjoy. And if you like the show because we suggested it, please leave them a 5-star review and say that you listened to them because of us. Now it's time to return to our show, as our detectives follow the lead that may have uncovered the big cat.
The address we'd gotten on the phone was in the hills, just off Beechwood Ave. Frank and I drove down the freeway, turned off on Noise, up Franklin, and finally onto Ledgewood Drive. By the time we got there, other units had arrived, and the immediate vicinity where the animal had been seen was surrounded. From one of the officers, we got the story. The panther had been seen by one of the civilians searching the area. The animal had run between 2 houses and jumped up through a window into a ground floor garage. We checked the house, but found that the occupants weren't there. Because of the anger of the panther's presence and the difficulty of taking it alive, it was decided there was no other option but to try and shoot it. The officers involved in the search were armed with large caliber weapons. Frank and I took 2 sawed-off shotguns and approached the door leading to the garage.
Who's covering the windows?
Mac. I'll hit the door. Stand back and we'll try to see what's inside.
Doesn't look like anything from the window.
Yeah, he's probably behind the boxers over in the corner there.
Yeah.
You set, Frankie?
Yeah, I'm square.
Go.
See anything?
No.
Back there, behind the crates. Looks like something's there.
Yeah. You take that side.
Right.
Take it easy.
You don't have to spell it out.
Frank, can you tip over the boxes from where you are?
I think so?
Try it. It'll drive him out in the open.
Right.
There!
Careful. Looks pretty mean.
Black Tomcat. The event was similar to several that had happened during the hunt for the Black Panther. During the 20-odd hours we'd been looking for the animal, there had been several reports that seemed authentic enough to be checked out. All of them turned out to be false. By this time, there were over 300 officers and volunteers engaged in the search. Frank and I went back to the office and put in a call to the telegraph company in an effort to try and find Havel. They checked through their files, but were unable to find any record of the wires. We then put in a call to the Overton police station in an attempt to get information. Yeah, that's right. Havel Amalgamated Combined Shows. What? Havill. Yeah, Havel. From what we've got, it should have come through Saturday the 13th. Might have been Sunday the 14th. Uh-huh. Pretty sure, are you? Uh-huh. Okay, thanks. If anything turns up, call me. Please? Friday. Yeah. Extension 2507. Auto theft, right. Thanks again. Goodbye.
How about it? I got a record of the show going through?
They never even heard of it. We immediately put in a call to the authorities in Ithaca. We talked with members of the State Highway Patrol and from them obtained the information that there had been no stray animals captured in the vicinity during the past few days. The conversation with them lengthened the possibility that the story we'd gotten from Clarence Havel was a lie. We went back to his house as soon as we could, but Havel wasn't there. From his neighbors, we obtained the name of his sister. We drove out to the address, a two-family stucco duplex. We rang the bell and waited.
Yes?
Miss Havel?
Well, that's right. What is it you want?
Police officers, ma'am. This is Frank Smith. My name is Joe Friday.
Okay, what is it you want?
I'd like to talk to you about your brother.
Daryl?
No, ma'am. Clarence.
Miss Friday, I've done what I can for him. If he's in trouble again, well, he's just going to have to go it alone.
It may be better if we talked inside.
All right, come in, I guess.
Thank you, ma'am.
What's he done this time?
Does your brother own a circus?
Is this a joke?
No, ma'am. Pretty serious. Does he?
Oh, sure! A big one! Havel's Amalgamated and Combined Shows, or something like that. Travels all over the country. Animals, concessions, even got a man-eating black panther.
That's one of the things we want to find out about.
Dante?
You know the animal?
All of Clarence's friends do. He talks about him all the time.
Do you know where the circus is?
Same place it has always been, Sergeant Friday.
Ma'am.
In Clarence's head. Never been anyplace else.
We continued to talk to Lillian Havel. From her, we got the background of the story. She told us that her brother had been a press agent for one of the larger carnivals, but that he'd been discharged several years before. Since that time, he talked of very little else but the day when he'd be able to start his own show, starring Dante, the man-killing Black Panther. She went on to tell us that he spent most of his time in the hills of the valley, trapping small animals, preparing for the first tour of the carnival. We called the office and notified them. The search for the Black Panther was called off, 8:46 p.m. We left the duplex and drove out the freeway to the valley. When we got to Havel's, he was sitting on the front porch reading. The monkey was still on his shoulder.